So do you want to see the car? Yeah! Well, we don't have it for you tonight. I'm just kidding, of course. It's April Fool's somewhere. All right, let's bring them out.
In 2016, Tesla finally unveiled the highly anticipated Model 3, but like every other year, major issues arise. And in January, the media gives warning of a new Batmobile-like Tesla killer that could be hitting the market in a couple of years.
And how soon could I see one of these cars on the road?
In this concept or one of our first cars?
One of your first cars?
One of our first cars, a couple years.
On the 3rd of February, Elon Musk cancels a blogger's order for a new Tesla Model X after he wrote a blog titled, "Elon Musk, you should be ashamed," in which he demanded Elon Musk apologize for the way the Model X event was handled, in which he claimed the event started too late, there was too many people, the food wasn't good enough, and there was too much focus on safety, and the customers had to wait too long for a test drive. Well, Elon heard about this and simply said, "That's it.
Nothing for you.
Take your whinging attitude elsewhere, your order has been cancelled." And while the media played up the story, Elon couldn't care less and stated on Twitter, "Must be a slow news day if denying service to a super rude customer gets this much attention." On February 10th, Tesla report Q4 2015 earnings with a record $1.2 billion in revenue, along with a record loss of $320 million and $1.2 billion in cash on hand. In terms of deliveries, a record 17,000 Model S vehicles were delivered, but only 206 Model X's were delivered. So why is the number so low?
I think the mistake we made with the Model X is that we put too many great things all at once into a product. In retrospect, it would have been a better decision to do fewer things with the first version of the Model X and then roll in capabilities and features over time in subsequent years.
I mean, maybe it's worth also just commenting that even some of the most innovative features on X, that caused some challenges in Q4 have really been, largely overcome today.
Yeah, that's true.
The operation of the Falcon door, the sourcing and supply of the large glass windscreen. I mean, these things are working very well and, are not a bottleneck at this point.
Exactly. Some of the things that cause us issues are somewhat counterintuitive. They're not the obvious things. For at least a few weeks, the constraint was the chrome finish on the bright work around the front window. Okay, and you think, how on earth could that be the constraint? But it was.
Or seals.
Or seals, yeah. The seals have been a huge pain. I mean, essentially the seals had to be redesigned, and then the seals that we did have had to be reworked by hand in order to sort of fit correctly. Yeah, seals are a bane. We had a lot of issues with obviously the second row seat. We've now insourced that capability. Yeah, we really don't have any fundamental issues.
So while Tesla fine-tuned Model X production, time has finally come to unveil the highly anticipated Model 3.
Good evening, everyone here. And out there on the internet. My name is Franz von Holzhausen. I lead the design team here at Tesla, and I'm excited to welcome you to the Tesla Design Studio here in Hawthorne, California. We are here tonight to talk about Model 3. But we wouldn't be here without years of intense drive and passion from the Tesla team and leadership on an unwavering mission. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all of my colleagues here at Tesla, it is my honor to welcome to the stage Mr. Elon Musk.
Welcome, everyone, to the Model 3 unveil. We have an amazing product to show you tonight.
Elon Musk opens by talking about Tesla's mission, combating rising CO2 levels, and how auto emissions result in 53,000 deaths in the US every year, and then recaps Tesla's master plan.
So step one was the Roadster. The Roadster was high price and low volume. What was unique about the Roadster was it was the first really great electric car. But there was still a lot more to do. And a lot of people said, well, the Roadster is nice, but it's sort of a toy and it's very expensive, and you couldn't really make a car that people would use every day, or a car that could really compete against the great combustion sedans of the world. So we thought, okay, we're going to make the Model S. So, any of you drive a Model S? Thank you. It's a great sedan. It can seat up to 7 people, 5 adults and 2 kids. It's tested by Road and Track and Motor Trend and others as the fastest four-door car in history, ever. The reason it was important is not to achieve awards or anything like that. It was to just show the car industry, show the world that an electric car really can be the best car. That's what really mattered. And now, for cars, about half the market wants a sedan and about half the market wants an SUV. So we thought, well, we'll extend the Model S platform into the Model X. Both of these are very important because the revenue from the Model S and the X is what's needed to develop the Model 3. Going from the S and the X, we finally come to the final step in the master plan, which is a mass market, affordable car.
Next, Elon talks about safety, just as he did with the Model S and Model X launches, and then reveals the price.
In terms of price, well, of course, it'll be $35,000. So do you want to see the car? Yeah! Well, we don't have it for you tonight. I'm just kidding, of course. It's April Fool's somewhere. All right, let's bring him out. You like the car? Seem good? All right. And this is kind of crazy, but I just learned, just told that the total number of orders for the Model 3 in the past 24 hours has now passed 115,000.
Tesla unveiling its anticipated new Model 3, huge lines. I mean, this is really unbelievable, forming around the world to order the car, even without seeing it. The company receiving 198,000 orders in 24 hours, with buyers plunking down a $1,000 deposit, knowing they won't even receive the car for at least a year. Joining me now, Gary Gastelou, FoxNews.com auto editor. Gary, there is so much about this story that is incredible, and I mean that word literally. You had all these people, 200,000 people, like I said, jumping to try and get a car that won't even be here until the end of 2017. At the same time, this company is burning through cash so quickly. I read that at the end of last year, they only had $1.2 million in cash on hand left. What do you make of all these numbers? Give me your take.
Yeah, the frenzy around this is just incredible. I don't think anybody expected this, even Elon Musk. We really haven't seen anything like this since the Ford Mustang 50 years ago. The difference was when the Ford Mustang was introduced, in the next 18 months, they delivered 1 million of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be 18 months before Tesla's able to deliver even one of these. Nevertheless, 200,000 deposits in one day. That's unbelievable. Couple of months.
He is the master, and he does have another divorce to pay for now, so... Gary, thank you. I couldn't resist. It has nothing to do with anything. Forgive me. Gary, thank you so much. David.
The Model 3 launch was a huge success. Pre-orders continued to rise over 200,000, and Elon outlined when production was due to start.
The date we are setting with suppliers to get to a volume production capability with the Model 3 is July 1st next year. Now, will we actually be able to achieve volume production on July 1st next year? Of course not. The reason is that even if 99% of the internally produced items and supplier items are available on July 1st, we still cannot produce the car because you cannot produce a car that is missing 1% of its components. Nonetheless, we need to both internally and with suppliers take that date seriously, and there needs to be some penalties for anyone internally or externally who does not meet that time frame. This has to be the case because there's no way that you have several thousand components, all of whom make it on a particular date. So the reality is that the volume production will then be some number of months later as we solve the supply chain and internal production issues. It is a bit of a confusing thing, and it does create some churn because people are like, well, what's the real date? And it's like, you have to take the July 1st date seriously in order for some date a few months later or some number of months later to actually be the real date. That's actually how it has to work. So as a rough guess, I would say would aim to produce 100,000 to 200,000 Model 3s in the second half of next year.
So Tesla aims to start Model 3 production in mid-2017 and hopes to produce 100,000 to 200,000 vehicles in the second half of 2017. So with those targets, Elon updates Tesla's 2020 delivery numbers from what was previously mentioned in 2014.
Well, I mean, I feel comfortable that we'll be able to achieve at least 500,000 cars a year by 2020.
Mm-hmm. To the new target, if the Model 3 ramp goes smoothly.
I think the most important point here that we want to make is that we're advancing the Model 3 build plan substantially and just overall volume plan with Tesla aiming to get to the 500,000 unit per year run rate in 2018 instead of 2020. And this is based off the tremendous demand we see for the Model 3, which I think is actually a fraction of the ultimate demand when people fully understand what the car is capable of and are able to do a test drive.
The media was quick to dismiss Tesla's timelines.
Since Tesla unveiled its $35,000 car, so many of our questions have been answered. It's fast, it's roomy, it has a long range, and it's hot. But there are still two huge questions that remain. Number one, can Tesla build it on time? Tesla has a long history of delays. Every time the company unveils a new car and begins taking reservations, Elon Musk gives a projected launch date. And every single time, Tesla has missed these deadlines, most recently coming in more than 18 months behind schedule.
To be fair to Tesla, a 9-month delay on the ROADSTER was still a heck of an achievement considering Tesla was literally learning how to build an electric vehicle. The Model S was on time, while the Model X, on the other hand, was late.
The second question is even more critical for Tesla. Can the Model 3 be profitable? Tesla has been burning through billions of dollars to get ready for this car, and if the Model 3 can't be profitable at its $35,000 price point, there are going to be problems. Tesla needs to cut costs, and for an electric car, that means reducing the price of the battery. Battery prices in general have been falling fast, but Tesla still needs to shave off another 30% or so for the Model 3 numbers to work out. That's why the company is building the world's biggest battery factory. The first stage is already producing packs ahead of schedule, and when the final stage is complete, it will have the largest footprint of any building on the planet. There are still so many things that must go right for Tesla in the next 2 years, but the company's existential questions have changed. The biggest challenge is no longer about how to convince drivers to go electric. They've clearly already done that. Now it's about how to meet the overwhelming demand for the Model 3.
So while things were looking good for Tesla, some unfortunate news breaks.
A Tesla driver smiling as he lets the car go on autopilot. Now he's said to be the first person to die using self-driving technology. Good evening, I'm Alan Martin.
And I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. The news already taking its toll on the Bay Area-based company. New at 6, KPIX5's Kit Doe is outside the Fremont factory looking into how this could possibly happen. Kit?
When this crash happened on May 7th, Tesla immediately reported it to the feds, and so now the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened up a preliminary investigation into the design and performance of the so-called autopilot feature, as well as the crash itself.
Here we are, stop and go traffic on 271.
Florida Highway Patrol identified the driver as 40-year-old Joshua David Brown from Canton, Ohio. He's posted dozens of videos of himself pushing the autopilot feature on his Tesla to the limits, including this close call when the autopilot swerves and reacts to avoid a crash with a white truck that was merging in from the left. Images from Google Maps show the crash happened on a rural highway 20 miles southwest of Gainesville, Florida. This Street View image shows the perspective from the Tesla Model S at the point of impact. It's a divided highway with an unprotected left turnout in the divide. According to the diagram in the police report, the 18-wheel tractor trailer, seen here colored in blue, turned left across the highway. The Model S, colored in red, struck the trailer itself, passing underneath it, shearing off the top half of the car. The car's airbag never deployed, and it kept going until it struck a utility pole, spun around, and came to a stop. On Tesla's blog titled "A Tragic Loss," the company said neither autopilot nor the driver noticed the white side of the tractor trailer against a brightly lit sky, so the brake was not applied. Tesla says had the car actually crashed into the truck instead of going underneath it, the safety systems would likely have prevented serious injury. Earlier this afternoon, Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted about the tragedy, saying our condolences for the tragic loss. The company called the victim a friend and someone who believed in the company's mission. And we're live in Fremont. Kit Doe, KPIX5.
Tesla stock hit hard by the news. The fatal crash. Shares fell nearly 3% in late-day trading. This tragedy bringing to mind another high-profile story about Tesla's autopilot. It was this video that went viral. It shows a Model S driver literally asleep at the wheel. Another driver shot this in traffic. You can see the Tesla driver, eyes closed, head resting against the door. Tesla warns all its Model S owners to always keep their hands on the wheel.
It was no surprise that the media ran with the story, and Elon tried his best to put things into perspective.
And it's worth noting, this is sort of inevitable, but, you see every now and again, some article about how autopilot, caused an accident or didn't prevent an accident. But, the important thing to appreciate is, autonomy doesn't mean there are no accidents. It just means there are fewer accidents than if it was in manual mode. As long as it is on a probabilistic basis safer and lives are saved and injuries are reduced, it is still better to introduce autonomous functionality.
In the next episode, Tesla complete the Gigafactory, acquire Solar City, and unveil another revolutionary new product, all while new dilemmas emerge. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you'd like to support me making more videos like this, Patreon is the best way to do so. And as always, none of this is financial advice. So till next time, I'll catch you guys soon.